What's up, guys? This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin, and I am so excited for today. We've got some table talk going on, and I've got three powerhouse ladies. We've got Claire Mariscal, Shino Vanhoose-Morales, and Nora Schultz. Absolute badass ladies. They all compete across the board, MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, the whole thing. So let's get to it.
Let's go.
How we doing?
Doing good.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us. This is
I know.
fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
super fun.
Thanks for being in the corner. So what's up? Where are you guys all coming from?
Training / home
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. What about you, Claire?
I hit 6 a.m. at 10th Planet this
Girl,
morning.
I don't know how you do the 6 a.m.
I have to.
I don't
have
know
one
how you
car.
do it either. I saw
have a
your
baby.
story.
So it's like I have to train early or late because then Chepe's
Right.
gone, training all
Yes.
day. Yeah.
What
so.
time does she wake you up? Are you up anyway?
Well, so that's what happened today. Like she woke me up at 5:30 and I was like, all right, cool. I guess here we go. Going to
Okay,
practice. So
okay.
normally she helps me with that. And then for some reason, if I leave, then she'll sleep with Chepe until I'm back. So she'll just like, I don't know. She sleeps well with him. But if I'm like, if I'm there and I get up, she's going to stay up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring her to syndicate and stuff? Like,
I
didn't
could
you do that one time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that. Like if we're both going to train, I'll bring her to syndicate. But then,
Okay.
I guess the other part is I also have a job.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay, yeah.
So,
Makes
those
sense.
things.
so I'm supposed to be home working.
Yeah.
I work remote, but still,
More
so yeah, it's like,
responsibilities.
yeah. Like I can take some time off to go to practices, but it's just tough when it's like, Chepe doesn't just go to like the team practice. He like goes there and he goes to the PI and then he's gone for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's a whole big thing.
His job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So after his next fight, hopefully we're gonna get another car and then
Okay.
then I can like come by more often.
Anything coming up? I know he's
He has
done
said
in
yes
for it.
so many times to so many people, and there's just nothing. Like we keep getting our hopes up, and then
Nobody wants
nothing.
that smoke. He's a
That's
scary
so
dude.
surprising to me.
I
I
know.
always thought like if you wanted to fight, you could get a fight.
me too.
Right.
And now I see,
Especially in the
it's
UFC.
not
It's
like that.
crazy that there's
Yeah.
choices like that.
We always said like because it was really hard for him to get fights like towards like right before he got signed, and then we were like. He was like, I just want to be in the UFC so people can't say no. And like, turns out
That
they
is
still
so
can
funny.
say no.
Isn't
It's
that crazy?
crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are their reasons? Because I feel like they have to have a valid reason.
Well, the pay from one fight is way better than it is in the regional scene, right? So I feel like maybe they feel like they have time to be pickier. Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like I didn't know that people had decisions like when they first come into the like I feel like you have to say yes to like everything when
Yeah.
you first
Right.
come in, and then like
Right.
maybe when you get to like the rankings and stuff, you
Right.
kind of you
Right.
can start being a little choosy. But
Right.
See, I feel like that's part of the issue though. It's like because even though at the like he fought people who were also new at the beginning, he was still always fighting up, and so it just seems like those people always get like a say. I don't know. It's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. Do you guys, do Vince or Cody experience that at all?
Vince always says he wishes he has the problem. People saying he's like, I wish I had that problem.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Funny.
So probably not.
Yeah.
No, not really. I think when he first got released from the UFC, that first like 5 months, everybody was saying no to him. It took like 7 no's before he finally got a yes. And then it was like, yes, yes, yes. Remember?
Yeah.
And then it was
Yep.
just balls rolling.
Yeah.
And then finally got re-signed to the UFC.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
the UFC, I don't think he has that problem.
That's okay. He's a dog. He'll fight anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he'll say that himself.
Yeah.
That's what they know though too. So you have
Yeah.
a reputation as someone who
Yeah.
will just
Right.
take a fight. Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know why we're talking about these men anyway. This is ladies talk. Let's do a little cheers. It's coffee and yap.
Yeah.
What about you
Perfect.
girls? What did you guys get into today? I know you training. What's today? Wednesday? Wrestling.
Wednesday wrestling.
Oof.
We went to 10 a.m. jits, and then I wrestled after. My teammate Jasmine, she's in camp. She fights next week, so it's her last hard week. So we're just kind of
Yeah.
keeping her sharp and just working with her a lot and stuff, whatever she needs.
Right,
So that's
right.
kind of been my focus for
Yeah.
the week. But
Nice.
What about you, Nora? You're obviously in jiu-jitsu, but I know you're preparing for a marathon too.
Yes, I'm running a marathon in 2 weeks.
Oh my
And
goodness.
they-
The whole that's 26 miles, right?
Yes, 26.2.
Wow.
They just changed the course though, and there's been a
wow.
little bit of outrage because it was
What?
supposed to go from Red Rock into the city and then finish on the Strip, and a lot of people were excited for that part, right?
Right.
Like people outside of Vegas too. And now I think they couldn't get like a permit or something like that, so now it's going to start up in the mountains on Mount Charleston
Whoa.
and go to like a high school. somewhere
What?
north.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be so high that it might affect your heart rate and stuff like
And
that. You
for
know, if you had
sure.
it
Your
breathe.
time.
Yeah, and then your quads they suffer because you're going downhill more. You know, but it's so late. Like they just announced it. Like nobody can really prepare anymore. You know, otherwise you'd go on the mountain and practice that kind of running.
Yeah,
You know?
that's annoying too because I feel like a lot of people do this specific marathon because it's in Vegas, the city.
Yeah.
It's the city, the whole city thing. You
For
know,
sure.
you're running on the
and
city.
if you're like in the marathon scene, then you're probably trying to qualify for like one of the bigger races, you know, and then you have to make the cutoff time. You probably won't make that in this kind of race, you know.
Wow.
What made
I don't
you,
have that issue, but
what made you embark on this? Just you wanted like to add a new challenge, or
yeah, you know what? I was like running half marathons here and there over the last couple of years, and I never fully got into it, but it was just always like a nice way for me to work out.
Yeah.
And then at the start of the year, I want to say I kind of wanted a little bit of a different challenge, like something where I'm still working out, but it's not quite jiu-jitsu, you know, and I mean, I'm not badass like you, okay? So I'm not going to go into MMA or anything. No,
She was hitting pads or doing the striking class for a little bit though.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I don't think I ever caught the bug for that. Like
I was
did
gonna
for
say, did
jiu-jitsu,
you feel
know?
that passion there? No.
I was like, oh, this is cool, but like,
Yeah.
you know, nothing ever clicked for me. Maybe I should have kept going for a little bit and been like, oh wait, now I can throw a jab or something.
Yeah.
But I just like I stopped while I still felt uncoordinated. You know.
I love it though because with you're like Cody's one of his main training partners. You know,
I guess,
you got like the bodysuits on and he's hitting you and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
He's
like
flipping her.
his teeth and
It's
his
so
spinning
cute.
heel kicks and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, trying to brace
No
so
wonder
hard,
she
you
didn't
know?
find the bug for it.
Like, this is not big time.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like Nora will be brought in for like Shanna to be Shanna's like drill partner or something like that. Like, weren't you Jackie's last night or something? Yeah.
Ooh.
So like she's
Yeah.
still like training with the MMA girls.
And they're using you.
I mean,
because
I'm like at an MMA gym, you know,
Yeah.
you know, so I feel like that'll come up.
but you're a good body too to use. You know, you're not like you still give like that competitive you know, partner vibe. So it's not like you're not like a dead fish. You know.
Yeah.
for sure.
I want to
Even in like the different aspect of the sport. You obviously have had like a long, you had a pretty busy year, especially the last couple months in jiu-jitsu. When did this career start for you, the jiu-jitsu career?
I think I've been training for like 6 years now.
Really?
So
That's it?
I first started like just in like a small little gym because I was new to the city that I moved to. Didn't know anybody. My
Was
friends
that here in
brought
the
me
States?
That was in Australia.
Okay.
I was living there for a little bit, and they it was just something to do in the beginning. I had no idea what it was, and then when I showed up, I was like, this is cool-ish. Like the people were cool. I was starting to make friends.
That's
So I
so
was like,
crazy. Just
okay.
something to do and then
I
just
know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
what
feel
a
like
random
that's when
sport.
that's how it
I
starts
guess
for a
that's
lot
true.
of women.
It's true.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
something new.
You just walk
keep in
into the gym
shape.
and then
Yeah,
it
for
becomes
sure.
Yeah,
That's
right?
so true.
Like-
That is
Yeah.
true.
Because like if I really want to do a new sport, that's probably not what I'm gonna pick, right? Unless I've had like
Yeah.
contact
Brothers
to it before,
or somebody
you know?
that, you know,
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
that kind
Like
of.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
you know.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Like you, Shino, you kind of it was like your mom was just you and your brothers were
Yeah,
on
we
the
just
mats
kind
as
of grew
kids,
up
right?
with it. Yeah, we
that's
like
so
they put
cool.
us in martial arts from a young age, so we grew up doing it, and then through my teenage years is when like MMA started getting popular and stuff. So yeah, I like was just doing it.
Right,
yeah.
right. Where was that at? I know you lived all over.
I started martial arts in England, just jiu-jitsu. Like there was a
Okay.
little jiu-jitsu gym, and then when we moved to Japan is when everything else started like getting put together. The jiu-jitsu, we started judo, we found a Muay Thai gym, but we only did those things separately because my parents are big martial arts fans.
Okay.
They always thought that it was cool.
I was wondering, did your mom do martial arts too?
No,
Okay,
my
so
dad
she just
wrestled
always
in high
wanted you
school.
to be
Yeah,
involved.
she just always thought
That's
it
so
was
good,
cool.
though.
I think she always wanted to, but in Japan, like buying the gis and so it can get expensive,
Okay.
and my grandparents didn't have the money for
Right.
that, you know. So they were like, "Go do ping pong." They had little ping pong clubs. They have ping pong clubs.
Is she really good?
She's really good at ping pong. I
can
want to
see
be
it.
good at pickleball because
right.
of it.
I bet, especially because she's very athletic.
Yeah. But then
So you get it.
so
Makes
then
sense.
we just kind of we discovered MMA, I think, in Japan because that was like the Matt Hughes, Ronda Rousey was getting popular in Strike Force type of era,
Okay,
you know?
okay.
And then I was like, oh, don't we do this? Just everything separately? And then we kind of just started putting things together. And then
How funny.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
what about what was your start to the martial arts journey?
Man, like I grew up, like my parents had a 2-sport rule for me because like we were in a small town.
I love
so
that.
a lot of people like, it's just, there's a lot
That's
of trouble
important.
going on.
That's so
yeah.
good.
And so like I literally had to, I like, there was no time off of sports. Like I played volleyball, basketball, track, soccer, softball. I wrestled 1 year in high school. I wish I would have done more. But,
Wow.
you know, yeah. But, and then,
wish I would've
MMA was just kind
Me
of one of
too.
those things like, I was dating a guy who was like, I'm gonna be an MMA fighter, and I was like, oh, cool, I want to go. And so like I went, and it was like this gym underneath like a
Anything you can do, I
tattoo
can
place. Well, and it was so like that because he got hit, and he was like, never mind, I'm out.
Really? Wow.
And then I was like, wait, I kind of love.
You're like,
this.
okay, we're breaking up.
Yeah, you're a bitch. You're a bitch. Yeah. That's literally how that went.
That's the biggest
Yeah. It was crazy.
It
but
makes sense.
Yeah, it was wild. But it was like, it wasn't very, like I was just tough. Like I just got tough there because it wasn't very, there's like not a lot of good, there's no gyms in that area.
Where was
now.
this? I'm sorry.
This was in Southwest Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. But a lot of
yeah.
wrestling out there.
There's a lot of wrestling out there.
Yeah.
In
Did you
Michigan in
notice?
general.
Was that in your gym?
No.
No, really.
No, still not my area. It
Really?
just wasn't like that. Yeah,
Okay.
my area was more of like a basketball and tennis
Okay.
place.
So how old were you guys all when you all started?
I was 21.
21.
Well, jiu-jitsu, I was like 7.
Okay.
Wow.
But
Right.
then like
I know, amazing.
everything else about like 12, 13, 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was 17. Like, and I was
Okay.
17 when I had my first amateur fight because I just went straight into MMA.
Okay.
You know, and but then I had some years off because like the gyms closed because we only had like 3 people at a practice. And I always knew I was going to go back to it, but I didn't go back to it basically almost until I moved out to Colorado. And anyway, that's a whole thing.
Okay. We're going to get into that. Unpack.
Yeah.
But you were 17. You also started MMA still underage. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How, what, 16?
I went pro at 16.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So y'all were
So
both still in
crazy.
school.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only reason I went pro was because I feel like, especially in Japan, there was no amateurs. Like I had one amateur fight and then just could not get a fight after that. So they told me if I want to compete, I had to go pro basically to make it easier, which
Yeah.
I was like, oh, might as well make money for it. You know, it was like $200, $500 back then. You know what I mean? But
That was your high school job.
That was my high school hustle.
For real.
Crazy.
And then I would
Wow.
even tell my friends, like, you want to come watch my fight this weekend?
Yeah.
Back then, it was like pro wasn't really a thing back then, you know.
Yeah.
But so that's crazy. Like you still embarked on it. It's like just like okay, throw me in the fire.
Yeah,
Like,
well, because there was no fire. It was just what people did at the
Yeah,
time, you know.
right.
And then, I mean,
Wow.
they
I
always
guess that's
say
true. It's you. I mean, we've all seen it completely evolve. But you, I'm like, gosh,
like I'm like, man, nobody does it like we did back then. Yeah,
For
back
sure.
then I feel like we just
Yeah.
fought.
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Were there other teenage girls in there? Like other
No,
girls?
I was like
16-year-olds
16
you?
fighting 35-year-olds. I think
Okay.
Wow.
29-year-olds.
Wow.
Wow, like
They must
that.
have had
Yeah.
like different kind of strength to you, right?
I
Or
didn't
did
know
you not
back
feel
then.
that?
I didn't know back then, but I think now being that age, when I think about it now, I'm like, oh yeah, they definitely were a lot stronger than me.
Ooh, I'd be big mad getting beat by a 17-year-old in a fight.
Oh yeah.
Like, fuck this little girl.
They're like she's a kid.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes, like, I feel like that kind of messed with my mindset in it a little bit, at least for a little bit, like near the end of before my first layoff, you know? I feel like because I went 3-0 at 16 to like
Wow.
18, I was like, or maybe 16 to 17, I was like 3-0.
Yeah.
And so and they were calling me the prodigy and stuff, you know? So I was thinking, oh yeah,
I got
like,
this.
I got this. I'm good at this,
Yeah.
you know? And then I got my first loss. Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even a bad loss. It was a decision loss. And,
Okay.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I just made bad decisions because I never have been put in bad positions,
Right.
you know? And then, like, I was so sad and I was like, oh my God, like, I lost. I'm not as good as they think I am, or I'm being told I am,
Those
or
stupid
whatever.
voices.
Yeah, well, and then you're young too,
Yeah,
so you know, like
yeah.
you care about that.
of course.
You think about it, and then I lost again because I was like, I can't lose, but then I lost, you
Yep,
know, and then
yep.
I'm like, oh my God, I suck.
Something about losing. I was actually just talking to my mom about this today. It's like when you lose, you kind of, it's always like if the last thing you did was lose, that's what you remember. You
Yeah.
know, like it's just hard to like get it out of your mind.
Yeah, I think I kind of thought a lot about it, like throughout the years, and I was like, I think I used to tell myself that I can't lose, but I was still saying the word lose. You know what I
Literally.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And so that was in my head a lot. I can't lose.
Instead
I
of
can't
like,
lose.
I'm gonna win.
Yeah. Instead of I'm
something
gonna
else.
win, I'm gonna do everything I can to win.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do my best to win. Like I just kept saying lose. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, if I'm focusing on not losing,
Exactly.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
probably lose.
Yeah.
You know what's
You know?
tough about MMA too is like your record is, it's not like a team sport. You know what I mean? Like your record is tied to you
Yep.
forever.
I know.
Like-
Sometimes I'm like, can I start over?
Right. And then it's tough because, you know, it's like you look at your losses, you're like, well, you don't know the whole story about this or this or this.
That
you know what
part.
I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That and like also too, like with your losses is yes, it's just you in there, but sometimes there are a lot of factors that can go into a loss
sure.
that don't have anything to do with you. Like sometimes, you know, maybe your coaches put you in the wrong fight and they, you know, or you were with a team that wasn't really taking care of you, watching out for you, or, you know, exactly like you
You have
said,
to learn so
there's
quick in
things that go
MMA.
on behind the scenes. And I always tell, you know, the fan base and the crowd, the people watching, like, that these fighters, like, they go out there and you just see the lights, camera in action, you know, that them putting them everything that they have on the line, and you know they're being so vulnerable out there, but you don't really understand like what goes into getting them to that point.
Right.
Like there's just so much
To even make it, to get to that spot, right?
Exactly. It just you mean sometimes you're lucky if you get to the fight. Like camp is so intense and so hard.
Oh yeah.
Like
all the little nagging injuries and stuff. Yeah.
And you can have like a really good opponent and they show up their best on that day, or you can have someone who maybe they're not that committed, you know, and you gave it your all and now you're better than them, right?
Yeah. Or you could have somebody who's not good and you're way good and you just didn't show up.
Yeah.
I've had like the opposite happen where I
Wow.
definitely know I've beat girls who I'm like on paper, they're definitely more skilled than I am, but I just like mentally was like,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's that
Yeah.
mental toughness. And that's like the biggest thing of the game is that I feel like probably the most important, even as being physically, you know, ready and fit, is the mental side. Because
for sure.
yeah, like
Yeah, I
if
think that's
you
more
believe you
important.
can win,
I think
then-
that's literally more
Yeah.
important.
I think that's the hardest part to teach.
Is it just
too.
belief?
Yeah, I agree with that
You
too. I
just
think
gotta-
that's kind of like you have that part or you don't.
I mean,
Yeah.
people do
Yeah, I
hypnosis
think
and
so,
stuff
too.
for that. There's
now
mental
people
coaching.
are doing sports psychology
Yeah.
Right.
and stuff.
And
yeah.
it's so important. It really is.
I think some people just have it. They just believe
Uh-huh.
that
Just
they can.
confident
Yeah, they're
people.
just
Yeah.
confident.
Yep.
And I think some people kind of have to like go. Like I'm definitely somebody who had to like
Me too.
learn the tough way. Like
Oh,
like
okay.
how I said I used to
Yeah.
think I can't lose, and I'm like, well, duh, I'm gonna that I'm going that way because I keep saying lose.
Yeah.
I think I had to like
Yes.
tell myself, girl, you got to believe in yourself before you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm a head case for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think also it's important to recognize that you're a head case too. So you can be like, oh shit, like you could stop yourself from going down that dark path. Like I know I'm a head case, so like there's certain things that I'll do or avoid to keep my mental strong, or like even just talk to myself like, stay here, Destiny, stay here, you know. What about you, Nora? How is the mental with? How do you feel mentally with your jiu-jitsu fights? Because I mean, you've competed at a very high level across the board, and
So
yeah,
you
I feel like
dominate at
I
ABCC.
scratched into like the
Yeah.
high level a little
Yeah,
bit here and
dominated
there, and then
ABCC.
there's like girls that are like, you know, they're like actual names in the game, you know. Like I feel like always like kind of like tried to make my way into there. Like I'm not a household name by all means or whatever, but like I've always like had the opportunity to compete with girls who are very good. I think, and I feel like you know, sometimes that's been in my head where I'm like, oh, this girl's supposed to beat me. Like,
Yeah.
how am I gonna beat her? You know, and then I feel like for me, it's always been a big element to like have like good people in my corner that say, okay, so this is the game plan, and almost like look at it strategically. So I'm not like just in my mind about it, you know. So I'm not just thinking, this is how it's supposed to go or whatever. Like, but if somebody gives me tools and we can like practice and get ready, that's always helped me.
yeah,
I don't know if you can do that in MMA the same way because there's so much
sure.
that happens.
I think
right?
yeah, for sure.
definitely.
You definitely have to believe in your corner.
You say you're not like a household name, but you're also 6 years. Like I don't know the jiu-jitsu world too well, but 6 years is like pretty new, and you're pretty high up there, right? So would
Yeah,
you
I
say
feel
like
like-
you're kind of young in the game still?
I still feel like that.
Yeah.
So
Because how old are you? 26?
I'm 28 now.
28,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. When people ask me like how long I've been training or like any of that, you know, I always feel like I'm still new. Like I know
Yeah,
it's not
6
like that
years
anymore.
is new.
6 years and a brown belt. That's
And like
that's
a
impressive.
good, like really good. Like you're like a
Yeah.
legit brown belt. You got
I was
some
a
people
purple
that
belt
get
for like 9. Okay, girl. I've been a blue belt for like 5.
That changes everything.
blue belt since 21. Ew.
I feel like it changes so much now. Like all the information is out there, you know. Anyone who can just like, if you put your mind to it, you can get good at like no
Yeah.
time. I think that's like the big difference now, you know? When you were a kid, you were probably playing games in practice, right? And you were like learning little things, and it's like, it's not comparable to someone who's like, starting now.
But I think also you just got it. Like jiu-jitsu is definitely I feel
like a puzzle.
I feel like everybody can train it and get pretty good, but I think like those people that like, you know, like you or like the Canutos or, you know, something like they're different. So Cody, you guys, the Tackets, there's just that different level of the Shapiros of jiu-jitsu, you know. You guys get it. Like I feel like sometimes some people like that are high level in jiu-jitsu, you guys almost see it slowly.
Yeah,
like
I see what you know
what I
mean.
mean. Sometimes I'm like, I need you to break that down 20 more times before I'll understand.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's kind of such a slow sport anyway.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and then in the gi especially, like
you
can.
How do you like having Cody in your corner? Choose your words wisely.
Let's see. I love having Cody in my corner. I think it's great because I know he believes in me, but I like communication styles are very different. So even just growing in our relationship, I think we're learning. Like he learns a little bit more like how I was talked to in my entire life and how I like to be talked to and stuff like that, you know. And he's from a different background, so and he's also a boy and he's like more direct and he's just always cool, you know. My emotions are like this. Like if I hear doubt in your voice, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, he doesn't believe in me, you know.
I'm the same.
And he's like kind of like rational with that kind of stuff too, you know. Like I'll win a match, but maybe my performance is bad. Like maybe I was just better than the girl, but like really I didn't even look good, you know, something like that. He'll immediately pick it apart. And that's like really good for growth, right? Yeah. Like that's how you get better. But I'm like, my feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
I'm emotional.
Like just getting to know Cody over the last couple years too, I feel like he's kind of a problem solver too.
He is, yeah.
Like he immediately wants to solve like the problem kind of already.
That's a really
good
way
what
to
I mean?
put it.
Like,
yeah.
So I could see him.
Yeah,
doing that
like
right
why
away.
did this happen?
Yeah.
Why did this go this way? Yeah.
And I think that's how
Hold
you
on,
get
let me
better,
enjoy
right?
this for a second.
Yeah, let me enjoy it, or let me be sad for a second. Yeah. But I think that's a big way to get
like
better.
my partner right now. Don't be my coach right now.
Does it ever make you nervous because he is like who he is in the jiu-jitsu world?
I feel like I had like my bigger tournaments and stuff like that almost before him. You know, like I felt like I was like rising before I met him, and then since I've met him, I've kind of just been like posting where I am. I feel like not because of him. Like,
it's your fault.
They do that at all.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, like it doesn't have anything to do with him. Maybe.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's just maybe
Of
just
course.
happened to be like that
the
at the same time.
For
sure.
I just
well, you guys
I
went through
I
a
don't feel
move and stuff.
pressure.
True.
No, I don't feel like, oh my god, I need to live up to his name.
Yeah.
Especially because, you know, I know that he has like, for one, like he's already like so ahead of me, and like also I think he has like more potential, you know. So I feel like fine with.
Well, I feel like he wants to make it a career, right? Whereas you're kind of like just doing it, right?
Well, no,
like,
I think which is because his like UFC career, right? But you want like yours. I mean, sorry, I'm kind of like getting ahead real quick, but do you see yourself going into like UFC BJJ type? Like, would you chase?
That'd be cool.
Would you chase that career?
That'd be cool. Yeah,
because I feel like
That'd
you
be
could get
awesome.
there.
I know. I was wondering why you weren't there. I feel like you should be there now.
I would like to
I don't think
get
it matters
there at
on
some
like
point,
belt or anything. They just want scrappy fights, and you bring that.
And that's actually a good point. You bring that up. Like I feel like my style is like more pressure, and like I almost like to slow it down. And then there's people who are like super scrappy, probably like wrestlers. I think that's like always a big point. If you can wrestle, that's good.
Absolutely.
And then if you can like just like be fast and like keep moving and stuff like that, never stop. That's something that I'm really trying to get better at, because I don't think that comes naturally to me.
Okay.
You know, I like the pressure, I like the control, and like being right here and stuff.
You like
that,
kind of
you
almost
know?
the traditional jiu-jitsu style.
Maybe, yeah.
Like
the big
that
man
sounds like the
jiu-jitsu.
MMA style to me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
but that's kind of what the jiu-jitsu game it seems is to be like evolving into, and like me and Raquel Canuto kind of had touched on this. Is it's changed to the point it almost is like a fight. Even the energy or whatever you want to say is a little different. Like it's like people people are just, more,
I mean, even the fact that the UFC picked it up, like
yes,
that's part of it
exactly.
too.
That's a big,
well, and now
very
it's going
good
to
point.
be, like I feel like jiu-jitsu before wasn't like entertainment wasn't the point before, and like now with UFC BJJ, it's like now just like fighters, you are an entertainer first.
And they
That's
say they don't want people pulling guard.
No,
they don't want
they want
that.
submissions.
They want
to be
attacks.
crazy. Yeah,
They
right.
want,
So it's not really about how good you are; it's about how entertaining
Right.
you are.
It's not
Yeah.
can you win. It's like are you going to make like the
they want
mainstream
views.
sports fan like tune in?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Somebody that exactly,
hard
because
for
like to
jiu-jitsu.
us, the traditional jiu-jitsu is beautiful. We could sit there and watch and
Right.
be like, oh,
Right.
wow, that was a really awesome transition or something, But whereas to like the normal, combat sports fan isn't they might be bored.
No, and think about it. Yeah. I was supposed to say, like, think about it. Like in a fight where you can still hit someone on the ground, people are still booing the second you go to the ground.
That's crazy.
You know
I feel
what I
like
mean?
sports always, once it turns into something that you're getting paid for, it always just turns into something that's about entertainment. I feel
Right.
like it never
Yeah.
like keeps its thing.
I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. I
mean?
know what
Like,
you're saying.
It's
Yeah.
magic. I mean,
Yes.
it's still magic, but
Yes.
you know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Right. Well, as soon as you're doing it for other people.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's not for.
I personally
You're
feel
trying to
like
sell
though,
something.
Right.
if I feel like you would rise to the occasion though. Like if you were to get that shot, like your training camp would just get more intense, and you would rise to that occasion. If you had to.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to roll with some? Like I know you and Raquel have done some training, right? How do you
Yeah,
do
I
with?
always
Because
wanna get out there
she's a
more.
grinder. She's a pressure. Like,
Yeah,
how do you feel
you
with
know
her?
what? I think she can do it all. Like she can,
Yeah.
she can wrestle, which obviously is like such a cool way to just be exciting because
Yeah.
it's like a lot of movement, right? But she's got submissions too, and she moves a
Yeah.
lot, and she's. I think she's very physical too, right?
Yes.
Like you've trained with her,
Yeah,
like,
she's
right?
she is definitely awesome. I want to circle back a little bit because you were talking about kind of the coaching language. How you said like the sometimes people need to understand your like how you get coached, right? And we talked about how you feel with Cody in your corner. What about you guys? Do you feel like your guys' significant others understand your coaching language? Or like, yeah.
Vince does for
Yeah.
sure. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just I think with
You're
anybody, I'm kind of just a listener.
You're pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple.
And I
Like,
think
you're
that's
pretty
because I think that's because you're a veteran in the game, though.
Maybe. I feel like one thing about me is I almost listen too much to the point where once my coaches stop talking, I stop moving. I'm like, okay, now
like a video. Give me more. Do I know
That's so funny.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
That makes sense.
And like I feel like Chepe's always kind of taken a back seat because Chepe and I got together after I was already working with my head coach, Valor Caballero.
Okay.
And like we just have such good chemistry.
Okay.
That I feel like Chepe's always just kind of like taking a back seat. But like I've told him that like competing moving forward, I want like Chepe in my corner.
Yeah.
Like, I want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Like, because I've
course.
seen him corner other people, and I'm like, wait, I actually want you to do
You
that.
like
for
his
me.
you like his corner.
Like, I
corner-
love that energy.
corner
Like
word.
he's really good at like just bringing like a fire to the competition, and like I
That's
could
important.
totally
That's
use
cool.
more of that. I love cornering him. Cornering him super fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you get a chance to say something or like
I do.
because I know like
I
the
do a
women
lot of
especially in the big
repeating.
fights.
My head coach is also his head coach.
Okay.
And so I'm in the third seat, and a lot of times I'm just like repeating whatever his coaches say. But like I've got some things that like
Yeah.
I know him, so
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
Like there's some things that I'm like I'll say things when I know it's like I don't want to throw him off in like a tight situation. Like if he was like in a submission, I'm gonna shut up. And
Yeah.
let
the
his jiu-jitsu coach talk about it. But like if there's like 30 seconds on the clock and it's like time to go, like I can say things that'll like fire him up.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. But I mean he's so much fun to corner.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
It's just
I
like,
know.
all over the place.
Yeah. I'm like, oh
Dude,
my
and
God.
it's so weird. It's like I never get worried because there's never a question of like it's like as much as it's a fight and anything could happen. Like there's no part of me that's like, oh, should he be in there? It's like he was just built for this.
Oh yeah, watching him fight, girl.
watching him
I end up
too,
literally
you see
laughing
He's a medicine there.
hysterically most of his fights.
Yeah.
Like sitting there like just laughing hysterically because he just cracks me up.
He posted a video not so long ago
Wow.
of like a fight clip, but he literally just like side kicks this guy in
Yes.
the face, like foot to face.
smack
I was like,
people.
God,
I mean,
not
oh
the
my
foot to the
gosh.
face. Like
Not
not
the
even
foot
a,
to
not
the
even, it wasn't even a team. It was just like straight foot to face.
When he's in his zone, I mean, oh my gosh, he's
Yeah.
just so entertaining. And having like a front row seat like that,
Oh
is
my
the best
gosh,
thing ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you've cornered Vince as well.
Yeah, I have. I prefer not to corner Vince.
Okay.
Not because he doesn't want me there or doesn't listen or anything like that. Sometimes I like to be the pretty wife in the stand. You know?
That's all right. You earned that. You earned that.
It does feel funny, right? Going out in like the gear.
Yes.
Like, you see these other guys, they'll show them like when they're entering the building and their wives are like full glam.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm here with my backwards hat. Yeah, it is so. Different. Yeah, it's so different.
Which obviously, I was cornering him a lot during the right after COVID, kind of around around right after COVID times, when we got to syndicate
transitioning.
Yeah, just because he kind of didn't really know anybody either.
Yeah.
So UFC gets a third, so I was always like the third, the water girl, and then and then the bucket. I mean, John's so good at what he does anyway that I don't even, because he usually has John and maybe Ricky, and they're both so good at what they do. So it's like, I don't need to say anything. So it's almost like I'm just here to hold the bucket.
Yeah.
And then,
still look pretty.
Yeah. And then after we got settled and he's meeting more teammates and stuff like that, I was like, okay, you find a third. I'm going to go sit in the crowd with my friends.
And that might be my role now. I'm not sure. I always tell Chepe, I'm like, I'll be there if you want me there. But whatever is best for you, that camp, that moment, I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because same, I'll just be in the stands.
Yeah. And sometimes I just get so. It's funny though. I do say that I like to be in the crowd more, but I get more nervous in the crowd because I don't see how he's doing.
Yes.
Whereas if I'm in the back with him, at least I can tell that he's fine. He's laughing. He's okay. He's laughing.
That's the part
that's
more important to me is being in the back with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting to sit cage side just a bonus, but I like knowing he's good.
Yeah,
that
you
makes
good.
sense.
Do you need anything?
I had to watch Chepe's last fight. I was super pregnant, so his last fight was the first time I didn't corner him.
I remember it was here. Right?
It was here. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So that was here, and I felt great about the corners he had and everything. And it was that was awesome. But yeah, sitting at home on my big yoga ball, so pregnant. I mean,
visualization.
It was just kind of I just sat on the couch for hours, before he fought. And then, but once he got in his zone, I was like, oh, thank goodness. I was like, thank you for making that so easy for me.
Yeah, I think it's the not knowing how they are in the back.
Yes.
And I know they're fine. In the back, I know that they're fine. But
it's just you need to know.
You're just far away from it then.
For sure.
Nothing you can do.
For sure.
And then once I see him walk out, I'm like, okay, he's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
Vince is always ready to go.
Oh, he's always but I do like being in the crowd.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And how about the other way, him cornering you?
He's my safety blanket for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I need. I think also. I'm somebody who's very vocal about okay, I'm nervous. I'm kind of I'll have, how you have your moments, especially during fight week, you have you're fine. And then all of a sudden your palms are sweaty. You're just
sick.
Oh yeah. Fine anymore. And then those are the times where I'm nervous. And he's just good at being like, it's okay. You're allowed. You're supposed to be, you know, that's good.
Cool,
I'm glad that
cool.
you're nervous.
It's so important.
He just knows how to talk to me.
That is important.
Yeah.
I've realized how important
everybody
it is to
does,
be nervous.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The fights that when I wasn't nervous was I don't want to say my worst performance, but I ended up losing that fight in the last 30 seconds because I was just
chill.
way too chill.
Yeah. Vince always says, Vince always has great quotes, but he always says, embrace the nerves because when's the next, nobody gets to feel these feelings, right? So you should be happy that you get to feel those feelings. How many people don't get to.
It is so cool, honestly, that we get to experience this,
absolutely.
these vast emotions,
right?
For sure. It's super neat.
Like you said, most people never will.
Yeah.
And also too, something I actually got from a mental coach that, because like I said, I'm a head case and sometimes my nerves can take over. And I think it's important being able, you have to learn how to control those nerves too, because those nerves can eat you alive.
Right.
For sure. It can be almost it's good you need them to compete well, but you also, there's a thin line between, letting them take over. And so something a coach told me was that those nerves, your body and mind literally know that it's about to go to war. And that is just your body getting ready.
I've heard that too.
And I'm and so I've always carried that with me.
It really is because you can, I think that's all about how you frame it, because you're gonna feel the nerves and you can be like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to win, or you can be like, oh my gosh, I get to do this right now. I literally get to go out there and do my best. How exciting.
And how cool is it that your mind and your body know that you're like, you are about to go out there and like physically do something crazy, like
Yeah.
you know, like
Awesome.
it knows, like
Yeah.
I love it.
crazy.
I love it.
Yeah.
Is that like part of why you're chasing the next fight?
Yes.
and the
Yeah,
next
for
experience?
sure.
We all
For
chase
sure.
this feeling,
And then while you're in it, you're like, why the hell am I doing this right now?
It's crazy.
Like, me and Cody talked about it because like we fought on the same weekend, and I was like, dude, I was so nervous, and he was like, me too. I was literally on my way there, and he was like, I could be the bus driver right now. And I was like, literally,
that's
I could be the
hilarious.
bus driver right now.
yeah, but how bored would you be?
Chilling.
Oh my gosh.
It would be
But that's
underwhelming.
like those are the thoughts that you get during fight week that
Mine's
you're
normally
just
during
like,
the
man.
weight cut. I'm like, why this sport? Why the
Yeah.
one with the weight cut?
Yeah.
Oh man,
the
Why
more
not
I am
something
like,
fun.
yeah, the more I am around you guys, like the more I realize that everybody goes through the same things fighting, right?
For
Like
sure.
obviously there's nuances and stuff, but like everybody's kind of scared, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody like wants to like maybe just not do it for
Yeah.
a second here and there, right?
Yes.
And then you like the brave part, even just like getting there, right?
Yeah.
And then you're still doing it,
Okay.
and then you're in the fire.
That is an interesting part. Oh, sorry to keep talking about the
No.
dudes, right? But
Hey.
like he's had some. We have a nutritionist now, thank goodness. So now we're like Gucci.
Locked.
But
you're looking
before-
really good.
Oh,
Just
thank
so you know, yeah.
But Chepe's last fight before we got the nutritionist, it was like the weight cut was hard, really hard, and like at like that night he didn't sleep.
What does he walk at? I'm sorry.
So now he's walking at like 160, which is fantastic.
beautiful.
He used to go
15
into fight
pounds?
week. I mean, the one I'm talking about,
Oh, yeah,
he
'cause
went
he's
into fight
45,
week.
huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one that was rough, he went into fight week at like 165,
Ooh,
which was
no.
way too heavy.
Fight
And yeah,
Like
so like again, he's
20
way
pounds.
lower now than he ever was going into a fight
Yeah.
week before.
Damn,
So it's
Chepe.
I know. It wasn't easy.
Well, he's a strong
Did he
guy,
make
right?
it?
Right. But what did you say?
Did he make it?
He didn't make it this
Okay.
time I'm talking about.
Okay, that's
but
a-
it was
I mean,
like,
I
he
mean, I-
didn't sleep that night at all, right? And he was like telling me, he's like, you need to take me to the hospital, this, and I'm sitting there, and it's like so tough being like the wife, but also like
Kind of the coach.
the coach,
Keeping him
and you're
grounded.
like, if I just go, oh my gosh, my poor baby, yes, let's go to the hospital, like then the fight's off.
Yeah.
Fight's off.
Yeah.
This is
And you have to be
bad
that
for your
mentally strong
reputation.
person.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, and I'm
like
trying
that
to
stern
decide, like, is he
person.
really like in danger, or does this just suck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm like,
Wow.
like texting like the UFC, like they've got someone on call all night. I'm like, hey, he's like not doing well, and they're like, okay, bring him to the PI like right at like it was like 5 or 6 a.m. So I'm like, okay, in a couple hours, like you're going to
hold
the
on
PI.
right now.
But like I was like, but if we go to the hospital, the fight's off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's off. I was like, we're here. You
Yeah.
signed a contract. Like we have to try.
Yeah.
Good for
You know what I mean?
you.
But it is.
That's
I was
good. That's
pregnant. I
a
was
good.
pregnant
like, oh
at
my
this one too.
goodness.
Yeah,
so I was also
yeah.
just like I was sick and exhausted, and I mean
Oh,
it was,
you're a
and that's when I
badass.
was kind of like, man, this is a weird spot
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
in. Like,
And
yeah.
I'm sure you guys are just the same, but this, like, you guys are the type of women that these men need in their corner, you know?
No
as their
wonder our
partners.
guys get along. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause,
Yeah,
like they
for
all
sure.
picked like really badass women. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I wanted to touch on that, you know, like I wanted to talk about what it is like being the wife of somebody who, these men that all compete at such high calibers, you know, the highest caliber in the world, like, and like that's part of it right there is being that tough person when, because again, this game will break you.
Yeah.
It can break you, and
For
you had
sure.
to, you know, obviously he's not going to break, but you had to,
Right.
you had to be that strong person at that time.
Well, you know, if they had the wrong people around them, they might break.
Yeah,
You
some
know what
girl
I mean?
who's not involved
Yeah.
would have been
Right.
like, oh my god, let's go.
Oh well, yeah.
let's
picture,
go to
yeah.
the
She was just like, oh my gosh,
When you
oh my
don't
gosh.
know
You know, if
about
you're like
it, yeah.
freaking out.
Yeah,
Me
you
and
don't
Nora
understand.
just
Yeah.
talked about it. We went to go watch that new movie that's out. The Chepe
Oh,
was
yes.
there.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
Smashing Machine.
Is it good?
Yeah.
It was good.
Romantic
It was cute.
It seemed okay. She's real. I haven't seen it yet, but she's very like in his corner type, right? Seth?
Well, she was like
Kinda.
that crazy, toxic,
Yeah.
like you know,
Like in the
well, because
corner, but
she's
also
not
like the
she doesn't-
enemy
she's
of
not
the
in-
corner,
Yeah,
in a
she's
way,
like
you know?
not in the sports, so she's like, you know, it's always about you. It's always about you.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, no, it's always about you. You know, and I was telling Nora, it's funny because I feel like, as the wife, I understand her feelings of this is camp, it's selfish, so it is always about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get, well, and Vince is always in fucking camp.
yeah, yeah. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, we've had this
yeah.
where
Stop.
like it is always about you
Because you're in camp, but
and
fuck, it's always about you.
and I understand that as the wife, but also as the fighter. It's always about you because now I have to like, you know, sacrifice this and that for you. Like
Yeah.
this is all paid for through this, like, you know, so I kind of get both sides.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of helpful
Yeah,
to like navigate
being with somebody at that caliber.
yeah.
That, yeah.
That's a really
I would
good point.
agree. I would agree.
I feel like, and you know, I feel like this is like you have to know what you're signing up for, you know, especially like, and it's hard because like, you know, I'm sure you and Vince were probably on a similar level when you guys got together fighting wise.
Yeah, we actually met on the same card.
And that's like, okay, so it's like how Cheppy and I were too. So it's like, you know, we're chasing this together, but then we get to a point where like, okay, now he's got, well, you know, it went back and forth because like I was on Tough before he was in the UFC.
Yeah.
And so like he had a point where he was like, okay, maybe you're supposed to be the superstar and I'm just supposed to help you. And I was like, no, that's not it. And he got signed to the UFC like a couple months later. It was crazy. But like now with where we're at, it's crazy. Yeah, I know, it's just we've been on this like roller coaster together. Like
What a life though. What a couple of years you guys have had.
It's been crazy. But like where I'm at now, it's like he's been doing this since he was 6. I'm like, that is his dream. And it's like when you choose to be with a partner who is chasing a dream, like you have to know what you're signing up for. And like, you know, you could have these conversations with like your girlfriends who are outside of the sport and they'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so selfish.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, before they make it, you know, people will be like, oh, they should have a job. They should be doing this. And it's like, those aren't the women they should be with then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I understand that like it is selfish. You're gonna come first. I mean, he called me when he got the March 1st fight, and again, I was due March 12th. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Take it, go."
Yeah.
Oh my god,
you know,
that's a good
she's
one.
literally in my head. Literally
You
in my
are a
head,
good
I was
woman,
like,
girl.
he could miss
That's
the birth,
amazing.
and that's fine. I'll bring my mom.
Wow.
Like, this is like, I mean, this is such a
Goats.
short window. It's right. It's such a
I know
short
that you
window.
guys
that he
would
gets
do
to
the same
this.
thing though.
Birthing in 12. She's like, this is exactly what I need. It's about you. You just fought 4 months
You're
ago.
just proving my point.
Oh my god.
No, that's
But
so
no,
funny.
that is amazing.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I love that too.
And you are like, he did mention, because I had him on the cat pod, you know, a couple weeks ago, and he did mention like he's been doing, like I've been a fan of him, but I didn't know that much about him, and so getting to know his whole backstory on, you know, like his career and stuff, he really has this, like he was born to do this shit.
What I just and
Which
that's,
I think
that's
everybody
also
at this
easy. It's just
caliber
there's
kind of is.
zero
I think
doubts
so
about
too,
that,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
It's like that makes it so easy to just want to support him like in every way possible.
Yes,
you know?
I love that. It's easy to support people that put in the work and that
Right.
just want it so bad, as
Yeah.
you know they all do. Have you had a chance to corner Cody at all? I know not in a real, not in a fight, but in any of his fight, not in the UFC, but in any of his fights. No. Okay.
I've seen a couple now, and
Yeah.
I've always felt like I was like super involved, like in the prep part.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like the girl
Yeah.
in the situation. You know,
Corner
I'm
isn't
not
as
the
important.
corner.
Like honestly, like your role is so much more important.
Yes,
like behind the scenes.
exactly.
I feel like as long as you have like a good
And
team, you know,
you
like
are amazing. The dinners every single night, like you know,
I'm like happy putting his supplements in the pile.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know,
I do
that
too.
kind of stuff,
I set
you
up the
know?
supplements for the week,
Whatever
and
I can do.
I cook every meal, fight camp. You know, it's.
because they live
It's a
together,
lot.
right? You
Right.
know that Cody and so whenever I'm there and I just see we're like she's in the kitchen like doing all these things, I'm like, look at her,
I've been
That's a
domesticated.
teammate,
Yeah.
girl. That's
So funny.
intimate.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Like there's times I'm like I would have never pictured myself doing this, like living this life. Like it is crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially in camp, I feel like it's so draining, right? The mental prep, the physical prep, the recovery, and then like you get so tired. So I feel like as like the woman, if we can take even one thing off their mind, and that being like the food they
Right.
eat or whatever, I'm sure it's so helpful.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, for
But
sure.
then I'm like, do you want to cook every meal when I'm in camp?
Yeah, right.
You know, you're cooking all your meals.
Nicely,
Right.
it's nicely. You guys, they're all in the UFC, so you guys could, and when you're in camp, you can be like, go get me some dinner from the PI.
Yeah, for sure. For
I
sure.
know you get 2 meals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Nora are so different. It's so funny, like living together, because like she'll be so like accommodating. You know, she's like, "Oh, are you okay? Okay, do you need anything else?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's over there. You can go get it."
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
that's
it's
too funny.
like, she knows is that it's to make yourself a home house, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Though. I love it.
cool.
I love it.
And I know that like I know part of it for me is like as much as like I am trying to support him, it's also like a control thing for me, because I know like when I fought, it was like control everything that you can because you can't control the fight.
Yeah.
And so like I do the same thing for Chepe. I'm like I'm gonna make sure that I've done everything to make him as prepared as possible.
That's so good.
Because it helps
Smart,
me.
yeah.
It helps me mentally when he's going into a fight. You know what I mean?
And you don't want to leave anything just like, whatever, right?
I don't want to. I never want to be like, oh, we shouldn't have done this. We should, we should have done that. Like, I never want to feel like that.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the woman either that drags your man down, you know?
Right.
Because they're working so hard
Never.
chasing something. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Exactly.
especially if they're like someone who was like made for this, you know?
Yeah.
It's just in them. Like,
Yeah.
if you're the person that like ends up being the reason that they don't make it,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
you're not in the right spot.
No,
Right,
I totally
right.
agree. And that's
Yep.
like even when Chubby and I got together, he was 10-4 when we got together, and then we both lost our first like couple fights together. Oh, and we were like, it's funny as much as like we had like good intentions.
You're like,
it was like
you're like, maybe are we? I don't know.
well, this isn't working. We were bad. Like, we were bad together. Like him and I were extremely toxic. Like we were really, really bad.
Like
together.
you guys fought a lot or
We fought
partied a lot or what?
nonstop.
Or-
All of it.
Oh.
All of
Cheddar?
it.
You think
yeah.
that's because
But I
Because
think
of
it's
that.
because like you guys have a very fiery love, it seems.
Oh,
and
we're
you told
both
me that when you
fiery as
first
heck.
started, you were very in love.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh
so I
yeah.
think
We were
some-
still very in love.
You
but
still
it
are,
was-
yes.
it was-
But sometimes
yeah.
that, like when that love is so passionate, it's a little
Right.
toxic.
And we were,
But
yeah,
what
we were both
happened?
coming out of bad spots. I mean, I like was like getting out of a marriage. He had like a fiance who passed away. I mean, we were coming out of a lot of crazy stuff.
Wow.
And we were like, we just had a lot of unpacking to do together.
Yeah.
And then it was like COVID. We like moved in together immediately into this
Just being
tiny
stuck
room.
together. Oh
It was
my
a lot.
gosh.
But yeah, it was crazy. And then it was like when we finally like committed to like living a different kind of life, like
Following God.
Together.
yeah, following God. I
Yeah.
mean, that was, we like committed.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
you
like
mentioned
now,
that.
so he was 10-4, then he was 10-6, now he's 18-6. You know what I mean? And it doesn't obviously it doesn't always like correlate, right? Like there's gonna be wins and losses, but like I can definitely say that like it's gone. Like I see what happens now when he gets to go into a fight with like a clear mind. You know?
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
yeah,
I
it's just
see.
We
it's
were
really
opposite.
cool.
We won like our first couple fights together.
Yeah.
And then so we were like, hell yeah, we got big.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
the power couple. You were like the hometown
And then it
heroes.
went the other way.
Oh,
And then we got
whatever.
too comfortable, and then we like
That's
so
the
we
real
had to
too.
like
Sometimes you get like lost in the sauce.
and then we
dude.
kind of
It's
had to like
crazy.
regroup. That's when we moved over here. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we need because he had just gotten signed at that point when we decided to move here and stuff too. So yeah,
Right.
You had already decided you were gonna come out.
Well, I never wanted to stay in Idaho. It just is a little too slow for me.
Too small town.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
so I
especially
wanted
you've
to
been
move.
all over, so I get that.
Yeah,
And
that is
I-
a big change.
yeah.
You've lived in a lot of kind of metropolitan areas as well,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
London, Japan,
Tokyo, yeah.
Tokyo.
So I always wanted
Right.
to leave, but Vince has never moved before. So he was like, I don't know if I want to. And then once he got signed to the UFC, I was like, let's move to Vegas. And then, that way I can go to school in Vegas, train, obviously. You can use the PI, utilize the PI,
Yeah.
train, obviously. And
Right.
then that's kind of when things kind of started.
What year was that? Did you guys came?
20. He came February 2019. I came August of 2019.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I personally have always said this, and I feel like you've said it too. And I feel like when you move to Vegas, it ends up being the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys like it?
We love
Good.
it. I wanted to move when I first got off at Tough because I worked
Okay.
with John.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with John Wood on
Okay.
it, and I was like, oh, John's
right.
That's
awesome.
right.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It was
go way
brief
back.
still, but like Amanda Nunes brought him on to help,
Yeah.
and he was so cool.
Wow.
And I got off, and I was like, oh, let's move to Vegas, but we were still really, again, we were super toxic, and it probably would have been a bad move for us
okay.
at that time.
And timing is everything.
Oh,
It really
yeah.
is.
And as much as like now that we're out here, and he's getting to like utilize everything, and I'm like home with the baby, I'm like, ugh, like I wish I was
Yeah,
training,
for sure.
but like,
Yeah.
but I do think it probably wouldn't have been a good move for us
Yeah.
at that time. So like,
Yeah.
so this time when he got back from his fight in March, I was like, I'm ready for Vegas. Like whenever you
Right.
are, like I'm ready. He's like, are you
Let's go.
serious? And I was like, yeah, because he talked about it for so long, and like I don't like people talking about things. I'm like, are we doing this thing? Are you going to be happy here? Or are we getting out of here? You know?
And you guys came from Colorado?
And like, so we came from
Yeah.
Colorado, and we came out. How did this go? Xena was 4 weeks old, and we came out her first road trip. She was like an infant,
wild.
Yeah.
And
Oh, man.
we
Was
came
that
out. So I was
tough?
like, let's go see if you like it. And at first he was like, it was funny. He was like, I won't train at Syndicate. Like he was so like, I'm not going to train at Syndicate.
Why?
And I was like, why? Right? And there wasn't really a reason. But we came out here and we just bought a spot. So I was like, okay. And like that wasn't the plan.
Super committed.
I
was crazy.
You guys all of a sudden were. I was like, wait, what?
Like, well, we're going to live here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, then we ended up.
So far,
Like-
you went to the other side of town.
You know what?
You didn't know yet.
Henderson.
You didn't know
and I'm
yet.
like, great.
Oh, you guys live in
We're
Henderson?
in
live in Val.
Henderson. Yeah, we're in Henderson, but we're in as east as you can get. That's
You live
what
by
I did.
Valerie, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that's
I didn't
so
know. We do
far.
like where we're at. We do
No,
like where
it's
we're
a
at.
great
beautiful
But it is like,
neighborhood.
it is like
It's
if I
just
was
far.
over here, I could have been like, hey, come pick me up.
No, literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And now
sure.
it's like,
But it
there's
works
no way I'm
'cause-
asking anyone to come get me over
Okay,
there.
yeah, that makes sense. That's why you go to like that 10th planet.
Planet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's the closest
Yeah.
to
I was
them for
like,
me. Otherwise, I would be at Syndicate.
Yeah, because
You know
I
what
was
mean?
thinking,
I do
like,
love
why
my
did you
10th
go
Planet
all
Pizza. It's a
that
good
way?
place.
Just
Yeah.
for 6 you got to leave at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and it's
but that
10
makes
minutes
sense.
away.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I will be training at Syndicate more at some point. It's
Yes.
just whenever it's
Yeah.
like convenient.
For sure.
But yeah, we love it out here though. I mean, it
Good.
was everything we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
And it's like, like I said, this has been Chepe's dream forever.
Yeah.
So as soon as he was in the UFC, I'm like, I would hate for him to not go live that life. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I want him to be able to be at the PI and like, like it's just so
Absolutely.
cool.
You
And
guys-
he literally is like, I feel like I'm like in university.
They earned
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
That they go to school.
Yeah,
huh?
like because whenever we go to lunch, Vince is like, "This is just a freaking high school cafeteria."
Oh my gosh,
we
it's so
see
funny.
everybody. We're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
what's up?"
no,
You know, like-
literally.
Yeah, it's so. I love
the
it. Like,
University of the Fight Game.
it is.
Literally,
It's how
literally.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think it's so cool.
And I love that everyone here is like on the same mission. Like that's one thing that's so different too. Is like the
I think
people
that's
here
what-
are like serious about it.
I think that's
Yep.
what like
You
really
know?
gears people's brains a
Yeah.
little bit when they move out here. Not just the PI or anything, but I think just being around like competitive people and
Yeah.
like, that mindset. The
Everyone
mindsets
here
and
is trying to make
Yes,
it. They're not just
exactly.
like fighting. This is what I
Like-minded,
ran into.
right?
It's like there's like so many people who are just like fighting and they're waiting around and they're like waiting to like. They're like, well, if I like, how do I
Yeah,
say it? They're like
I
waiting
get
for
you.
things to happen for
Yeah,
them.
instead of
Yeah.
chasing
You know,
it.
and they just like complain a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like the people out here are like going for it. And like they realize that like I need to be in the right place with the right people. Like, I don't know, it's just different.
I feel like Vegas is very much just the town itself is a go-getter town. You don't move to
Yes.
Vegas to settle down.
Yeah.
Nobody,
No,
whether
for
whether
sure.
it's fighting or not. You
For
know,
sure.
everybody that comes here comes to hustle and chase
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
And I feel like when you come here, you come here and you leave whatever you left behind. So
Yeah.
you come here and you're like, all right, let's get this
Yeah.
shit.
And like
you know?
we moved here for a reason.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Because we got really comfortable in Denver. Like we had some great people there, but like we just got too like complacent.
I think sometimes you feel like, well, at least we did anyway. Like people that kind of stay in their hometown are kind of like, yeah, they're comfortable, but they're almost okay with being the best in their town.
for sure.
If that
For
makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
yes.
They like
Vince-
some
they
people
actually
like
love
being-
it.
Vince
Yeah.
calls it like the king of shit mountain.
Oh my
But
gosh.
like, you know, like
Yeah, I
they're
always
okay
think that, like,
with
big
that.
fish in a small
yeah,
pond,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. And they're like, that's kind of their like superstar
Yes.
So true.
For
like
sure.
life to them, so they're okay with that.
Yeah.
And it's like I think people that get out of that, for example, the fighters that move to Vegas, they are okay not being the king of shit mountain. They're okay
looking
being like
to
a
not
little
be.
fish.
Like,
yeah,
they're
you know,
looking
yeah.
to, like, be in a
and
challenging
I think that's the
world.
difference between the successful.
to grow.
Yeah, yeah.
You look at it. The people that come here see it as growth, not I'm gonna go and be the little fish.
Yes, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I'm gonna
yeah.
go grow to be that
Yeah,
big
yeah.
fish.
Right.
And you have
Yeah.
to just swim. If
Yes,
you're trying to
yes.
make it,
Swim
right?
with sharks,
Yes.
man. And that's the thing.
Oh,
is,
this would weed you out.
the-
Being here would weed you out if it
1000%.
wasn't for you.
It is it's a dog eat dog town, and this game is the fight game is cutthroat.
Oh, it is. You
So
'cause, like,
brutal, huh?
Yeah,
It is. Well, like, you
just
know, all our
even your
guys
side
got to
of
the UFC,
your side of the world
but
too.
staying in the
You're
UFC is
BJJ.
such a different
Oh,
thing.
so hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
there is
Yeah.
hard, but staying in is tough,
It's
and getting
harder.
back is
Getting
hard.
back
is the hardest.
is
impressive.
That's why I
That's
always,
impressive.
I know.
I always
Yeah.
hats off to Vince
Did
Morales
he
for
get
that.
did he get
Yeah.
cut when they had like that? Wait, what weight class is he at?
35.
Was he always at 35?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he got released after his fight with Miles Johns. I
Which
think
was
they were both
bullshit.
on two. Yeah, I kind of think so. Not much happened. I think they were both on that like whoever loses gets
Oh.
released
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of thing. So they were both literally just standing in front of each other.
Yeah.
Like, and Miles Johns is
He did-
known
he
to
wrestled
Yeah, he's
at the end.
he's known to like knock people out, and
Right.
then like Vince is also known to be a hard hitter. So they were both kind of just like here a lot. And then I think solidified it for Miles was he took Vince down in like
That'll do it in those fights.
of the in like the second round or something, or the first maybe. But and then I think that's what solidified it. But literally, it was literally like this, and then he got released. Yeah, super close.
So were you guys together before he ever got signed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
way
was
before.
that like? Like, I'm so curious. What was that like for you? Like to witness, like the emotions getting signed the first time, getting cut, and then getting back in.
The sign the first time. So we were both on the regional scenes kind of in our hometowns. He's fought for Bellator a couple times before that. And then when he called me because we actually trained at different gyms back home.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, he trained at a different, like our rival gym, I guess you could say. And then I trained at the main gym that they have.
Was his gym in like Ontario and then yours Boise?
No,
or are they
his
both
was in
Boise?
Eagle, Idaho.
Okay.
So he would have to go to work, obviously. After work, he would have to drive 30 minutes to practice, and then he would have to drive 30 minutes back because he lived in Ontario. So it was just far.
grind.
Yeah.
That grind.
No. I'm sorry. I think he lived in Nampa, so that's about 30 minutes away.
Okay.
Anyway, so like that was that. I lived in Boise, so mine was like 30 or 10 minutes away. And then when we were together, he was driving home from practice and he called me and I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, guess who just called me? And I was like, what? Who? And he had just started signed with Jason, I think, at this point. Like
Jason and his magic wand.
yeah, well, he had signed with Jason the beginning of the year, and that year, and then he fought for Contender, lost. He fought for Bellator right after, won, and then so this was the same year, November 2018, and then he called me. He's like, I'm going to China, and I was like, why? And then he was like, for the UFC. And I was like, shut the fuck up. So he was just like on the phone. He's like banging on the steering wheel, like I could hear it. And then so it was really cool. I was like, no, hurry up.
Oh, that's so exciting.
And then after that he called, I know, it was so cool. And then
Wild.
when he got released, he called me. And he was like telling me about it. That was sad. And I was like, it's okay. He was actually at the PI and about to start S&C. And then Jason called and said like, I'm sorry, but whatever, broke the news.
You're like,
and
can
then
I do S&C right?
and then right. And then
You're escorted out.
No food,
so after you get released, you have access till they take you off the roster.
Right.
So
okay.
like he still had he was there.
Right,
So
for
he
sure.
was allowed to be
for
there.
sure.
But then but he goes, I guess he looked flustered and his S&C coach was like, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I just gotta go. I gotta go. So he couldn't even do the session and he like left.
That's
And
tough.
Joe even texted me because she was still in the UFC at the time. And she was like, hey, I just saw Vince. Is he okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I just got some news and he's just got to figure some stuff out. And then came home and he was cool. Like, I mean, obviously sad, and, but he was like, well, it's not like I'm going to stop fighting.
Right.
And then it just went, I mean, Des was there through the whole thing. He just went like fight after fight after fight after fight on a tear.
Dang.
And, yeah.
That had to be cool for you to watch, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that could be such a low spot in someone's life.
I just feel like
I think some people it's going to affect them one way or
yes,
the other.
Yeah,
that's
so
what I
that
was
had
going
to
to
be
say.
really neat.
So I feel like ego.
We've seen it, too.
We've seen it,
the
right?
other way.
People get released and then they never fight again because
Right.
they're like their ego won't let them fight
Right.
back on the regional scene.
Right.
And I knew that was going to
that
happen
must
for
be
Vince.
hard.
And we
That's
even
so
talked
cool.
about it. And I was like, Vince, don't act like this is going to be like you're never going to fight again.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was like, well, yeah, but I'm sad. And I'm like, yeah,
for
for
sure,
sure.
for sure.
But don't act
And
like
you
you're
can
never going to
feel it
fight.
too.
Yeah,
But-
for sure.
but-
Yeah.
like he's a fighter through and
Yeah.
through, right?
So then I think he was like, I just need to get a fight. I need to get a fight. I think for him, you'll kind of know once he gets back into like once his knee is better and stuff. But like Vince is somebody that like he'll fight and then he'll fight again and then he'll fight again and you're just like, bro, sit down.
Crazy.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like it's almost like he isn't himself unless he's in camp sometimes. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
And not
sure.
like he's like angry
No,
or
but I
anything,
hear
but
you.
like
It's-
he's
yeah.
just kind of like I don't know, antsy maybe.
Don't know what to do
like
with my hands.
Yeah.
And then like a little more. Not even short. I wouldn't say he's short, but he's like just antsy. I think when he's not like in a
Yeah.
camp.
Like wants something to work towards. Yeah.
And I think he also gets scared of his age too, because he's going to
Yeah,
be 35
he does.
soon. So
Okay.
I don't feel like that's even
Yeah.
an issue these days anymore, though.
but it was like Vince
the prime
does
for the guys now.
Yeah, like Vince does. He was like, I need to fight. And like I said earlier, he went through so many no's because he got released in January of 2023. I think.
Okay. Oh, this has all been like fast.
Yeah,
Okay, he
yeah.
wasn't out for long.
No.
I think 1 year.
January of 23.
Okay, that's wild.
He fought like 5 times in that year.
He fought 5 times within
impressive.
the year. Yeah, like
Won a
so,
title.
Holy
yeah,
cow.
because he
Crazy.
was it 23? Yeah, because he got back in 24. Yeah,
Wow.
so he fought in May. That was his first fight. Obviously, won. Like his little ego part that came back was he got a fight offer for Front Street Fights in Idaho, which is
Yeah, yep.
our hometown.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Our hometown promotion.
Yeah.
So he
That's
was
where we
like,
all met.
yes, yeah,
Me and
yeah,
Vince
yeah,
fought
because she
here.
fought on there
Me
too.
and Vince fought on the
And then
same
I
card.
think
That's how we
yeah.
met.
Shepe and I were friends with like multiple guys in Denver who fought for that promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
okay.
Idaho. Yeah.
So then Vince was like, obviously Vita's my girl, you know, and she's like, hey Vince, I have this fight offer for you, no pressure. And he was like, he told me like, I do want to fight, but at the same time, something about fighting for Front Street just feels like I'm taking a step back.
Yeah.
You know, and I totally get that.
Yeah,
you
of
know what I
course,
mean?
of
I
course.
totally get that.
Especially
He was
going
like,
back home,
yeah,
I
and
get
I
it.
was like, you know what though, Vince, you get to sell tickets. It's going to be more money than you're going to make kind of anywhere else
Right.
in the regional scene right now. So, you know, and
Right.
it's obviously a winnable fight. So, we talked. He took it. Yeah. So
And
she went. Yeah.
He killed
He
it.
probably had a blast.
And everybody
the
loved
it was
too.
amazing.
It
The
was
crowd
so
was
loud that you
lit.
couldn't even hear the walkout song.
No.
No.
It was, oh my
that's
gosh.
so
It
cool.
was crazy.
Yeah.
And
The
he's like at
energy.
the cage, he's pumping his chest. He's
Yeah.
like, ah. Like,
Doesn't that just
It
show
was
you
cool.
though how like the ego part is like just in
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone back home was excited
Oh,
for him.
so
right? They were really, like,
excited.
so proud of him.
And then even
everything.
on the outside, nobody cared that you won on Front Street. People were just like, "Fuck yeah, you
yeah,
won."
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
and then after that, just he fought for Risen in Japan,
Nice.
which was a cool
On the New Year's card.
Yeah, on the
Cool.
New Year's card.
Yeah.
So he got cool opportunities
Yeah.
within it, and I think he always says that it was an opportunity for him to find himself again. You know, like because
Yeah.
the first time in the UFC, he was so worried about doing everything right that it kind of took him away from how he actually fought, and he kind of he's come up short in his last 3.
But it seems like he's found that
yes,
dog
but if
again.
you watch his fights, yes, he's come up short, but his like the way he fights is different.
He's just, and he never, like, he's just, I swear,
Just
from
go,
bell to
go.
bell,
He's
go,
trying to
go,
finish
go,
it.
go, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I actually asked him this when they were on the pod, you know, do you think that needed to happen? And he's the type of person that doesn't think like, I don't think need things, you know, I don't,
Is needed, yeah.
I don't look at things like that. But sometimes I like looking at his career, like maybe, because he was kind of like he said, lost in a sense where he kind of lost like that who he used to be, you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
up, we all have that dog,
Yeah.
and then you get a little
Yeah.
too technical sometimes, you
well,
know,
I feel like
and you
especially with
lose
like
it.
the UFC,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
lose 2 in your cut, you know. So it's like,
And so
you think about it.
those 5 fights that he had, like I
Yeah.
watched, you know, I've seen it all, and it looked like he found himself
yeah,
again.
he was
you
having
know?
fun, and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a big part of it, right? Just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell by the way he was like dogging on people
Yeah.
and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
like the bravado and
Right.
stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
see, that's the shit that you kind of lost in the UFC,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. So, and then like he got the call. We were actually coming back from training, and Jason called. Jason was FaceTiming him, and so I was like listening too. And then Jason was like, "Do you have your passport?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're gonna go to Paris." And then Vince was like, "What? I am?" And he was like, "Yeah, in like 10 days." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
That's how we got back in?
Yeah, that's how he got
So
back
cool.
in. He fought
That's
Paris.
so funny. Chepe's was on 10-day notice too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
10-day notice.
I
And
love
then
that.
he fought Taylor Lapalus in France. So he's always on
Right.
home turf, on
Right,
the
yeah.
home
for sure.
turf. But yeah, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
Like I was
Nice.
just like, hell
Yeah.
yeah, let's go then.
For
Of
sure.
course, I was like, I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So cool.
But yeah, it was cool. I think that was almost like that moment was almost like I almost feel like because it was so short notice and he's kind of already had the call before, it was more so than him being excited about it. It was like, okay, I gotta fucking do this now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it,
Yeah.
it
Right.
almost like
Yeah.
there was no time to be excited about it in a
Right.
sense, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
yeah,
that.
I get
Yeah.
that. I'd say that was kind of the same for us. Like when It was okay. It's so funny. We're giving like Jason some props here for sure because like, Cheppy and I were he was with a different manager, and then there was all this drama with him like switching to Jason and stuff like that. But then literally at the morning he signed with Jason, he got a call from like Sean Shelby, and he was like, "Hey, I've got 2 managers putting your name in."
Oh, cool.
He's like, "Who's your manager?" And he had just signed with Jason that morning, so it was like
wow.
I felt like Cheppy did a really good job, like kind of stirring the pot to make things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like,
Sometimes
I can't
you gotta
just
do
sit
it.
and wait anymore. It's like I have to like do this. But yeah, and then it was like 10 days at 155, and he's a featherweight. And then we were like, anything.
Yeah.
Like let's go.
Yeah. Fuck, even at 45, I'll fucking try and make weight.
for sure.
Yeah.
55 was perfect for him
Yeah.
at that time because he used to be walking heavier. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that one go?
It was great. He fought, it was Trevor Peak, and I think he was undefeated at that time. He was like 10-0. He would like knocked out a bunch of people. But he was like
undefeated under the banner, right? Under
yeah,
the
he's
UFC banner.
he's 5-0 right now. It's awesome.
Wow.
But yeah, his fight with Trevor Peak, he just dogged him like for 3 rounds. It was
That's so cool for his debut.
Dude, it was hilarious. Like the fight
just
is
hysterically
so,
laughing in the crowd.
I was like, one of the first thing he says is like, slap this dude, and it was just like, oh my god, that fight was so exciting. Like the whole thing was so exciting. And like I remember one of the coolest moments for me was like after his fight, where like they rush you out of there and stuff, and we're like getting in the vehicle, it takes you back to the hotel, and I get like the ESPN update, and it's like fireworks and Chepe Mariscal's UFC debut, and I'm like, oh, cool.
That's so
cool.
Yeah,
That's
just my notification.
Yeah, it was so
Yes.
cool. But I was like, fireworks. Yes, like that is so him. It was just
Right.
perfect. Yeah, it was neat.
And what about you guys?
That's amazing.
What's next in your guys' careers? You are obviously a mother. You just moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
You were on The Ultimate Fighter.
Yep.
You had one hell of a career already.
Yeah, it's been fun.
But I don't think it's over, is it?
I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm really trying to figure out like where I fit in this chapter right now. So, like fighting was such like a huge part of my identity for so long.
Yeah.
And, like it's so funny. I used to think it was so corny. Like I'd kind of roll my eyes when I heard women be like, being a mother is like the best thing I've ever been. And now I'm like, oh, now I get it. I don't know. I roll my eyes at it.
I get it.
Because I was kind of like, well, what about like your goals and your dreams, But like now that I'm there, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like now it makes sense. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah, and it's just it's I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I'm getting back into shape. Like I love being an athlete. I love being an athlete.
yeah.
But it's tough because like I also have like my accounting career. I'm like pursuing my CPA.
Yeah.
That's like something I'm going to do the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Stable.
It's stable.
Yeah.
And
Consistency.
I like stability.
I
Like
do
that's why I
too.
went after the
Yeah.
dreamer, because that's fun for
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm the stability, he's the
Okay.
dreamer. It's such a good combo.
I'm kind of like going through that right now
Yeah.
too, of like where do I fit in
Yeah.
a sense of like, obviously I don't have kids, but I'm at that point where I'm like, I think I want kids, right?
Yes.
So like, but letting go of that like fighter, that athlete a little bit,
Yep.
like that sense of me is a
Yeah.
little tough.
Well,
I think.
and now that I just went, because I spent like 6 months before we got pregnant being like,
yeah,
like
oh,
okay,
no.
am I okay with this part of me dying? Blah blah. And now it's like I'm glad
Visibility
I'm glad I
is an
spent so much time
identity.
processing it.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's not dramatic like
Yeah,
that. It's
for
actually, it's
sure.
really not.
Yeah, and the thing is
It's just like enjoy your free time right now, because you're literally not about to have it at all.
Did you feel like your fighter identity died?
No.
Like, are you split from
No,
it?
you
Is
know
it
what?
still in you? Is it just
It's
like
definitely so. Like, I mean, if the UFC was like, "Hey, we need a 35er, a 25er, a 45er," like if they were like, "We need someone this weekend," I'd be like, "Put me in, coach."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I love
like,
that.
So that's the
I
thing.
love that.
I love fighting. Like, I
Okay.
love fighting, but it's just like I don't feel like I can put in the I don't
the
need it.
commitment.
I definitely don't need
Yeah.
it. Right? I love it, but
Yeah.
like the commitment it takes.
Yes.
For a camp, like day
To
in
be
and day
successful.
out,
And like,
how could I do it without taking
Yeah.
away from Chepe right now?
Yeah.
You
That
know what I
makes
mean?
sense.
That's what's really tough.
Do you see like an alternative universe where both of you guys did it?
Man,
like,
I
were you in the
did.
UFC
I
at the
really,
same
because
time?
that was always our goal. I'm sure probably same for you guys. Like that was the goal. It's like we're both gonna be in the UFC doing this thing.
Yeah.
But then like I really wanted to have a baby, and like I
And
tore my
that's okay.
ACL and I wanted to have a
Beautiful. It's
baby.
just beautiful.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. And like I love my life right now. And it's been
Good.
really fun.
Then that's all that
This is the
matters.
most
Yeah.
like feminine era I've ever had in my
I get
life.
what
You
you
know what I mean?
mean.
I'm like
Yeah.
at home with the baby, I'm cleaning the
you're
house. You know? And it's like it feels really good.
Yeah,
You know?
I love that for
See, the
you.
thing too, though, like, is like
The ego part died.
I feel like we.
Oh,
That's the part that did die.
That's okay though.
It is.
I feel like the thing is like one, I don't think the fighter in us ever dies. I
Right,
think
for
we
sure.
are just
Especially
just like
being
these men that we're
with
talking
fighters.
about.
It's
Like
fun- and
they're
it's, like,
born
fun to
for
be part
this.
of it.
We're too, all of us. We're
For
all
sure.
like you don't compete at high levels. You don't stay in a city like this and continue this life for all these years if it ain't in you.
Yeah.
You know
For
what I mean?
sure,
Like it's just
for
who
sure.
we all are.
Yeah.
And so like you might not fight to be at the highest level one day again, but I wouldn't doubt that you don't ever fight again, honestly.
I
Or do some
know.
type of competitive thing where it's like
Yeah.
you know,
jiu-jitsu or something.
jiu-jitsu
I know. I've thought about
or
that
power
too. But
slap.
dang,
or
I like
know.
hitting people. I
Damn,
know.
I like hitting
You know,
people.
seriously. I'm like combat jiu-jitsu maybe. I
I
don't
want
know.
to do
Combat
combat
would be
jiu-jitsu.
fun.
I think that would be super fun.
I
It
really
would be
do.
kind of
Yeah.
I
like
wanted. Do you guys know anything about that? I wanted to know. Can
Yes.
you slap standing up?
Oh,
No.
I think you have to
I
be.
think you have to be
Oh,
grounded.
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
like, I want to go wow and
know.
then take her down.
Or I think
Yeah.
one of
Just
you
make
at
it
least
power
has to be
slap.
grounded.
I think something.
I think if
yeah.
someone's grounded, you can strike.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
But yeah,
sense.
it is interesting. I am curious about that for sure. But I don't know. And I've definitely thought about fighting again. I mean, Shannon Knapp's awesome. And she's always like, if you want to fight, got a place for you.
I want to do dirty
awesome.
boxing. I think that's next.
Yeah.
Dirty boxing.
Yeah, dirty boxing would be
Okay.
Unless I'm like set, unless they like, if I go knock this girl, when I go knock this girl out,
That's right.
in a couple weeks, my plan is to hopefully have them get me on the card here in December. We're gonna see how that's looking, and if they don't, then I'm for sure just gonna jump into a camp for dirty boxing. I'm just gonna do it.
That's so cool.
I
Is
keep
dirty
saying,
boxing
I'm
the
gonna get
bare
ready
knuckle-
for it. I
like-
just gotta do it.
Is that like the
Yeah.
bare knuckle one? Or which
No,
one?
that's
okay.
the
like
Mike
the
Perry's,
gloves.
the MMA gloves, and the
MMA
elbows.
gloves.
Oh wow.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So boxing is your background,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
like your first
yeah.
love.
And
that's
I
where
feel
you
like
came
with
from?
the puffies, it's like I love that. I
That's
like,
cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like
super
that.
And I don't got to worry about getting kicked or taken down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can punch them while they're grounded, but you can't like mount them or anything like
What?
that. And they'll
So if
stop.
you knock them down, you can be like,
Dirty box, like
Wow.
some street fight shit.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is. That is. You can straight up
But
collar
usually when
tie,
they get
like,
down, exactly.
wow.
Usually when it gets to that point when they get dropped and they're getting rained on, like that's usually kind of
Yeah.
they stop it
Okay.
shortly
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But you're not establishing position at that point. You're just like you're like
Oh my
over
gosh,
them,
imagine trying to like
going
No,
like that.
like no
just
knee on
from that.
belly or anything
That sounds
like that.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like bare knuckle is the closest thing to street fighting.
Oh,
Definitely.
It's like
That's a-
all the couch potato, all the couch like keyboard warriors
Yeah.
talking shit about MMA fight. Oh, this wouldn't work on the streets. Go do bare knuckle box or
Yeah.
bare knuckle MMA.
Right.
Okay, there
Right.
you go. There's your street fight.
Because that's the thing too, isn't it? The bare knuckle MMA.
it is.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is. I think that
Gosh, there's so many different ways
there's.
to compete now.
I feel like
There's like the
know.
pillow fighting
oh my
championship.
god. There's the leg kicking too.
Nora, we should go do that.
I
totally do
don't know
that.
if they're
That'd be
still
fun.
doing it, but I really want to do that.
There's the leg kicks too.
you can.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I bet you they're
people.
heavy.
Yeah.
I bet you they're heavy
Oh,
pillows.
yeah, okay,
you know?
okay. It's not like the
But they
fluffy
got like
one.
how they do slap. They got leg kicks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
where
leg
nope.
kick.
I draw the line.
That's
a no.
I
I
draw
don't
the
do
line.
that.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, leg kick.
Hell no, my knees could never.
No way.
Hell no.
And doesn't
way.
that like injure both of you?
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
How much would you
Yeah.
get paid for that? You know?
Yeah, no, I feel
to
like
just take it.
Crazy.
right.
Wait.
You can,
Yeah,
can
you just check it. No,
check
you have to
You can
just
check
take
it by
it.
like
You can just lean
stepping,
into it.
yeah.
Oh,
I
That's
think that like
brutal.
each combat sport
I
has
get
its
kicked
own
by
like
Annabelle every day.
level.
I'll be fine.
conditions.
I think there's its own level of gangster to each combat sport. Like I think like yeah, I've done MMA, I've boxed, all of that. But I draw, and I do power slap. There's some people that just won't do power slap, you know, like because it's just it's different. Like you got to be
Yeah.
a different kind of person in
Yeah.
your mind to say I'm
Yeah.
gonna go and put my hand behind my back and let this bitch
Okay, I
slap
have
me
a
in my
question
chin.
for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Like, did you ever at any point like were you ever like, oh, I wouldn't do that? Like, I
Yes.
couldn't just stand there and get slapped.
No, well, it was like just silly to me at first, like it is to all of us, you know.
Yeah.
I was like judgy of it too at the beginning, you know. But then when we went to the combine, Shino went with me, and then when I got into preparation for it, my mindset definitely changed. Then after competing,
yeah.
and
It
now
was
it's
fun.
growing a lot, and I'm
I
seeing,
know.
even being in the crowd last weekend, I see it's just. You see that I know it sounds silly because you guys just, but there is technique and you see it,
For sure.
and like I don't know. I personally feel like we put in the work, you know, to be successful. Like we're not just going out there slapping, and I think some people do.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Like Belly, she's putting in the work, and she went out there and got a knockout. And I personally feel like I'm putting in just as much work, and I feel really confident in what's going to go down on the 24th. Honestly, I really
awesome.
do.
I love
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
It's still a young sport, right?
Exactly.
And it's going to keep developing.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
then-
scares me about it. Is because like, how much does that develop? Does it just get to the point where everything's
Everybody's
a
just knocking
knockout?
everybody
It's
out.
whoever
I
wins the
agree.
coin flip.
Goodness.
You know?
I agree.
Like the first slap is
Yeah,
just the one to
boom.
end
Yeah.
it.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
But see, where I draw the line is bare knuckle. I won't do
Okay,
that.
wait. Have you ever been to a bare knuckle event live?
No, I'll
That's what
watch
changed
them,
it for me, though. That's
but I
what
don't
changed
think I
it, is
could
going
do
to the
it
Denver one.
unless it
Really?
was like paid
And
like a high name and I'm
I
getting
think
paid.
if you went, you'd feel different.
Really?
I agree. I'd have to get paid a decent amount, but when I went in person, I'm like, oh,
Really?
I
I
would
feel
do
like-
this.
Really?
I feel like
Yeah.
with bare knuckle, more so than my face, I would be worried about my hands.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, you're breaking a
like,
hand.
Yes,
Yes.
because like I don't have big hands.
I
I have little bones.
I feel like it's a on your way out sport.
Yeah, I could. I
That's
agree
what I
with that.
thought
Yeah.
about slap fighting at one point, though, too. And now I don't.
No,
now
it's on your way up.
Now it's like an accessory. It's like, oh yeah, let me just go do this slap fight.
A lot of
Like-
people, a lot of fighters, especially like people who are still competing in fighting, is definitely more of an accessory. I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Oh, but I agree with you. I will say, yeah,
It's a
bare
money-
knuckle is not like, oh, let me just go do this. bare
Yeah,
knuckle fight.
yeah,
yeah. That's
for
not
sure.
like that.
and
For
it's a
sure.
money maker too. Like
Yeah.
power slap is a money maker, and
is, yeah.
like you
That
know,
changes things.
sometimes I feel bad telling like my like teammates and stuff that are killing themselves to go make pennies when I'm making to go
Seriously.
to go slap.
Yeah.
That's
Seriously.
the thing.
That's a very
but
professional part about it.
yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of like. But I mean, also it helps that the UFC is behind it too.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah,
of
because
course.
I feel like imagine a regional power slap
that's
thing.
when it was
You'd probably
funny.
be making like
Nothing.
$200.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember it would just be
Yeah,
like reels on Instagram from like other countries, and you just
Yep,
see these like
yep.
jack girls like
Yeah.
smacking each other, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, now it's like actually like a sport.
And like the thing too is like after seeing it live, I do realize I'm like, oh my god, this is really dangerous. Like it's really scary.
I think after going to yours live, like I already didn't want to do it after the combine. It was so fun. Don't get me wrong.
did
It
the
was like
combine?
fun. Yeah, I
Okay.
did the combine
Yeah.
with her because Danny, my manager, was
Yeah.
like, just go check it out. And I was like, okay.
She was like, I'll never do it, but I wanted her there too, so
Right.
that we both understood.
yeah,
'Cause
well,
she's my coach.
And,
you know?
and Danny told me to just go check it out, see if you
Yeah.
like it. You don't have to like commit to it. So I did, and it was fun to
Cool.
do it. But I think I was just so aware in the back of my mind. We're hitting pads, and like these girls that like I'm watching hitting these pads, they're gonna. She's gonna slap me. You know what I mean? It's not just the pad, and see who can hit the pad harder. And I think that always kept me from like
Yeah.
wanting to do it.
Yeah.
And then I went to hers, and the first slap that we see is Stump Marshall.
Stump Marshall.
Yeah. And he's just literally the first power slap event I've ever been to. It's the
Yeah.
first slap of the night, and he just goes whap, sleeps the dude.
Head on
the table, falls back,
like,
and I'm
walked
like,
up.
saw that
we're
today.
like,
And then he did it again. He did it again last Friday.
And
bro.
then I was like, oh my god. And then so in my weight class would be PETA.
Yeah.
PETA.
Yeah.
Oh my
Macias.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
she went against Chelsea Dodson.
So Danny always told me, oh, you know, especially the small girls, they never knock each other out. They never get hurt.
That's
you know,
so
just
crazy
and
to
I was
say.
like,
Power.
so I was
Yeah.
always like, yeah, I guess that's true too. And then I see PETA break Chelsea Dodson's nose,
Yeah.
and I'm like texting Danny, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, that could have been me.
Yeah.
no, I know. Even
That's
me,
intense.
like I feel like not that I got lucky, but in a sense, like I got lucky that my last opponent was, she didn't foul or anything like that. So I walked away.
That's
pretty
what scares me the
unscathed.
most is the fouls.
Like,
that
because
scares
some
me
of these girls
the
are,
most.
or even like they're like just big hands. Some of these girls got big hands.
Oh, that's
and like I
I can
think
palm a
that
basketball.
like Des,
Oh, you got,
I've got
like-
huge hands.
yeah, you
that
got
does
my
make me
finger
kind of want
hands.
to do it.
Des fucked that
hands.
girl's face up because
Yeah.
her shots were clean, but Des had big hands, bro.
I know.
have small hands. I have
Talk
small
about
hands.
like a
But-
mom that's killing it.
But also, you have small
Des is
hands,
like-
but Zoe had a small face.
Yes,
She's got
Zoe
like
had a small face,
face,
and
yeah.
I just think I just have I have power. I
You
do.
do, yeah.
I was gonna say, if you have a small hand, isn't there more power?
I personally
like
feel
in the hand itself, like rather than it
I feel like
distributing.
yes, exactly.
More
I think there's the
accurate.
power, and then whereas to like the big hand maybe leaves more damage.
Okay, wait, I have
Yeah.
another question. What about like arm length? Do you want longer, shorter, or is it knowing how to
it matters
use it?
You measure, so I
Yeah.
don't think it matters. Like, and then
Well, and you
also
have weight
it's knowing
classes.
how
Yeah.
to it's
Yeah.
knowing how to use it too, because some people will have a long arm and they'll go like this. I'm very like I go
No
straight.
way.
Yeah, I go
Oh,
straight.
that's interesting.
Yeah, I go very straight. I don't feel like I generate enough power if I bend.
Has your slap changed like dramatically
Oh, yeah.
since you started this?
I think so.
That's
yeah.
cool.
How was that first moment of actually slapping someone?
And
the
getting
first time
slapped
you
the first
do it-
time.
Oh yeah.
I want to know about
Yeah,
both
because
of
you won the
those.
coin toss last time.
Yes,
Oh,
I did.
I love
Yeah,
that.
started.
Yeah.
I started. The first, actually, that's when I was like, I fucking love this because getting ready, I was like so in my head because like you're just hitting a paddle, it sounds good, but you really can't tell the power, and it's a paddle. Like it's hard to think the chin. I don't know. It was hard. It was really hard for me to visualize it. So
Yeah.
once I got up there and I like had her chin on my hand, and then once I got the
that's
first
crazy.
one, I was like, I can't miss her chin. I can't. Like my accuracy was too on. Like
Oh,
I was so locked in.
I even slapped her.
Yeah.
We tried.
She couldn't.
like the baby one.
I was like,
I'm
just
down
slap
for
me.
baby
Like,
slaps.
and
I
I kept saying, I kept going, okay, but you can't be mad at me. We're still friends after that.
I go, I'm not.
Because slapping someone is like, that's pretty intimate, like disrespect.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
That's funny because I always liked slapping in MMA practices. Like I like that because
Oh,
to me, it's
to me, that's like disrespect.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people feel like that.
But I get that, and somebody else said that, I can't remember who. But the thing is it's not a slap up there, bro. This is a shot. Like and like people are like, does it hurt? And it's like a slap hurts, right? Like you ever got slapped by your mom or whatever, that shit hurts. It stings. This is so much impact. It feels like a punch. Like you could feel that. Like you could hear that sound. You know, like. Almost like harder.
like is it like ringing?
Because it's over here rather than like when you get jabbed, you don't feel that much. You know what I mean? But like because it's on the side, you could feel that like thump in your brain.
Do you think that's like some of like the hardest shots you've taken?
I love Zoe to death, and she's gotten way better, but she didn't hit that hard when I went against her. So I think in a sense,
So you took harder.
Yes,
hits
and I keep that in my mind too. Like, don't just because you did really well last time doesn't mean like you're gonna go against harder hitters.
Right, for
so
sure.
I keep that in my mindset as
Especially
well.
as
You know,
you go up.
Yeah. Like belly, man. Like I personally feel like my goal plan right now is like go get this win, go get it in a dominant fashion, and then like I know it's gonna be her and Paige next, and like then maybe if I can go and get another W in December, that puts me in conversation for the title.
Beautiful.
But I'm like belly's scary. That's a scary fight.
I think also
scary man. And I've never
also,
called
like,
it a fight until
too,
now.
right? So like that would be your first. Oh well, I guess this girl's an MMA fighter too, but like your first American like stateside
exactly
MMA fighter. Yeah.
Dude, that she hit hard. That's a scary shot to take, especially 5 times
5 times
in the championships.
I wonder how she'll do against Paige.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was kind of talking to her, and she was saying how she hopes that Paige like doesn't turn it down due to medicals or whatever. You know,
Because wasn't Paige having like some spinal injuries?
yeah, she said she had like the spinal thing going on, and like
It's supposed to be really crazy.
maybe
like,
she did,
to the point where
but-
she could get paralyzed.
But she
right?
like said that,
I would think,
and then like weeks
slapping,
later,
like
she was
slapping is not something you should do if that's happening.
So she said she got cleared, but the
Okay.
thing is she said that, pulled out of the fight with Mikey, and then turned around and was like at a dirty boxing event and saying yes to Jessie Jess.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it was like, it just, the math wasn't mathing, but
She's also an entertainer.
she's
too.
an entertainer.
She
absolutely.
is an entertainer.
Yeah.
But
for
I
sure.
personally don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like, to be honest, I feel like Belly could possibly beat her, but at the same time, I'll never sleep on Paige because Paige is a gangster across the board. She's
Dude,
done
she
everything.
shows up. Yeah.
She's done everything. You know,
Yeah.
she's a G. So all
Got a
respect
big
to her.
portfolio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Well, guys, we freaking yapped it up. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being on
Yes.
here.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
having us.
Of course.
That's awesome.
Please tell everybody where they can follow you, Claire.
Okay. Instagram, Claire Fights. I'm still Claire Fights on Instagram.
As you should be. As you should be.
Yeah.
Instagram at Shino Vanhoose. That's about it.
Instagram for me as well. Nora_Naomi.
All right. Yes. Follow their lives, their journeys. We got Mama, Chubby Mariscal's wife, probably going to fight again. Chino is an amazing,
She said it.
an amazing strength and conditioning coach. Just embarked on that new career and it's popping off.
Yeah.
She's my coach and I absolutely love her. Nora is climbing in the jiu-jitsu world. UFC BJJ next. It's coming.
Let's
All
go.
right, let's do
Let's
it.
go. Let's
do
go.
it.
You heard it, Steven. Let's go. Put her on. Put my girl on. All right, guys. There you have it. This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin. Real fighters, real stories, real talk. We'll see you next round.